Bad.
It's okay. It's hilarious. Like the on the news, you could see the sparks underneath our car because we literally drove it till the wheels fell off. They fell off. He was trying to go fast. He was giving it all he had.
Oh, Alisha.
I just couldn't catch.
What are you doing in the passenger seat? Freaking out or just like, go, baby, go?
I love you. I love you. I love you. You know, freaking out.
This episode of The Recovery Couch is brought to you by Greg Swartz at Remax Victory and Affiliates. Greg brings heart, hustle, and honesty to every deal. Call Greg at 937-477-8975 today and tell him The Recovery Couch sent you.
It's Halloween 2009. Halloween 2009. So everybody's out and about because it's Halloween night. I've already been missing at this point for like a week. And he's like, okay, never get in the car with more than one guy. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, and I'm going to be walking on that side of the street. I'm like, okay. So we're walking down the street. I've never told this story before. We're walking down the street. He's on one side and I'm on the other. And this car goes by and there's these guys hooting and hollering out the window. And I look over at him and he goes, right? Because there's like 2-3 guys in the car. I'm like, okay. So they go by me. Well, we keep walking, and all of a sudden, this big black Escalade swoops right in between us. It's the same guys. They were undercover cops. They literally scoop me up in this car and scoop him up in another car. And they look, so this is like, this is divine intervention, right? Because I hadn't done anything, but I was gonna. And I'll never forget it. Never saw that guy ever again, right? But I'll never forget these cops looking at me going, where in the hell do you belong? Like, you are not from here. Where do you belong? Call your parents. You know, because I'm still like 24 at that point. Like, I'm young, and I look even younger than that. And I had some stuff on me, and they told me that if I called my mother and told her what it was that I was doing and what I was about to do, that they would not press me with any charges and they would let her come pick me up.
Time out. So what's going through your mind when they tell you that? Because if I'm thinking I'm in that situation, I'm like, that's the last thing I'm trying to do right now.
Definitely the last thing I was trying to do, but also my mom and I are very, very close. I never would have to worry about my mother judging me or anything like that. So that's not really what I was worried about. I was more worried. Go ahead.
Getting out of charges. You wanted to get out of the charges.
Hell yeah. I wasn't trying to go to jail.
Yep.
I'd never been to jail.
Yep.
And so I'll never forget that ride home. My mom and her best friend came and picked me up. Her best friend's not alive anymore, but I will just never forget that car ride home. Knowing that she knew, we weren't really talking about it. But I got home that night. She laid down with me in the bed. And I just remember her patting my hair, you know, just like not even knowing what to do with me. Now she knows that I've been exposed to all of this stuff, and God only knows what happened to me while I was out there. You know, this is what she's thinking because I'm not telling her really anything. And this is the first time that I had been missing for a little bit, and she had me, right? So she was laying in bed with me, and just, I'll never forget it. And I went to sleep that night, and I stayed clean for 6 years.
Wow.
Yeah. I was so tired, and I just didn't want to hurt my family. Like, I didn't want to hurt myself. But most of all, like, you know, and that's a big through line of my story is, I don't ever want to make anybody else feel bad ever in my life. I struggle with boundaries because of that. You know, I always have my whole life. You know, I can't tell you how many times as a teenager I didn't say no just because I didn't want to hurt somebody else's feelings. And I would sacrifice myself like that. So I go to sleep that night and I do not use again. And I'm clean. I'm clean. Like for 6 years. And all of a sudden, everything starts taking off for me. And I really am like, okay. All of a sudden, my identity starts to shift from that person that I was before. I'm in my hometown and everybody's seeing my new life. I'm working, which I couldn't keep a job to save my life, my whole life. I worked at every establishment on that end of town where my mom lives. Anywhere I could walk to from my mom's house, I have worked there.
The bars, the restaurants, all that?
Just, I mean, well, not bars really, because I wouldn't even try to do that.
Oh, yeah. So not in the 6 years of sobriety. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, no, yeah, right. I just mean like my whole life. Like I remember working at Frisch's Big Boy in Bowling Green and being at a time in my life where I thought to myself, I've been working here for a while, but like I need a drink and I need to drink now. Like I feel gross, I feel yucky, I feel uncomfortable, and I just want to get drunk. And just walking out the back.
And you got 6 years under your belt at this point?
No.
Okay. So you just rewinded big time.
I just rewinded.
Yep. No, I'm with you.
So.
Okay.
So I start working, and, I'm doing well. I'm going to meetings. I'm heavily involved in meetings at this point in my hometown. And amazing sponsor. I've had some of the best, I mean, everybody could probably say that, but I have just had some of the best, amazing woman sponsors. So I have this adorable sponsor. She's like 4'0" and the most spiritual little hippie lady ever. She's great. And I'm happy. I'm starting to be happy again. I'm starting to figure it out. I'm living with my mom. I remember when I got my first place when I was sober. I was about 6 months sober and I got my first little tiny apartment. And so I'm heavily involved, in the program. And I come into a meeting one day and I just see the most handsome man sitting there. And I'd never seen him before. And I tell my sponsor, I'm like, oh, and she's like, don't even think about it. No, I'm like 3 months sober at this time. I'm like, yep, I'm going to date him. And we went out for coffee that night. And
right after the meeting?
Right after the meeting. I'll never forget, it was freezing outside and I walked in the meeting. I put my hands on the back of his neck just to like flirt with him a little bit. And then like he was like, you want to go for coffee after the meeting? I'm like, yep, sure do. And I was pregnant.
The old cold hands trick. Works every time.
And, they tell you, my sponsor's like, you're too early. You both are too early. We were both exactly 90 days sober.
Wow. So same sobriety date.
Pretty much. Pretty close.
So just all the more reason for you guys to believe like this was meant to be.
We were perfect for each other.
Oh, okay. So what happened?
So, we start, hanging out and we're together like a week later. Like we are an item officially. And we move in together and we have a baby. So I found out I was pregnant on my year anniversary.
Wow.
Yeah.
So sobriety stayed a common interest point for you guys. Okay, good.
So this is my son's father, and we have never, ever been in active addiction together, still to this day.
Praise God. Yeah, yes. That's awesome.
So
on your 1 year sobriety date, your son is born.
No, I find out I'm pregnant.
Oh, you find out you're pregnant. All right.
My 1 year, I found out I'm pregnant, and I am just over the moon. I'm so excited. He's like puking. Like he's so scared. And, our relationship was not healthy. We really didn't stand a chance, honestly. But we loved each other and we tried. We just had a lot of trauma that we had not dealt with. We had a lot of trauma each individually that we had not dealt with. And, a lot of things happened. And, to this day, it just is what it is. And I forgive him. I hope he forgives me. But we were just toxic. We were chaotic, but we both loved our son, and he was amazing. And but we split up when he was about 6 months old.
Okay, so that's about 15 months after you found out you were pregnant. So you're about 2.5 years, 2.25 years sober at the time you split up.
Yeah. Yep. And I moved back in with my mom, with my baby.
So you, a 6-month-old baby boy.
6 months old. Yep.
But it's different this time because it's not like you're calling her from St. Louis or New York or.
That's right. So, but I stayed sober. I mean, because a lot happened in that relationship that I won't get into, but it was extremely traumatic. I don't blame him. You know, I did my share of whatever, but a lot of really traumatic things happened, but I stayed sober, and that was huge, you know. And so we split up. I'm living in government housing. I stayed with my mom for a while and then moved us into an apartment. And I'm loving being a mom. It is like, I'll never forget those early years of having a little AA baby and taking the kid to meetings with me. And everybody just, you know, like him being a part of that. I'll never forget that experience because it was really very beautiful. So now I have a child, and I'm like, I'm still going to do theater. I'm still going to sing. This is what I'm going to do.
So you're getting closer to 30 about this time.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. All right.
Good counting.
I'm engaged. I'm listening. It's super interesting.
Okay, great. Yes. Okay. So I'm like, I can have it all. I'm like, I'm in this really empowered time in my life. I'm like, I can have it all. I can be a mom. I can be a performer. I might have to switch up what it looks like a little bit, but that's okay. I'll teach and I'll love it. So I go back to school for musical theater at 30 years old, at 28, I think, 28. And I go to the original college that I was going to go to, but I had decided to go to New York. It was like...
Which was?
Siena Heights University. Do you know where that is? In Adrian?
No.
Okay, so...
No, where?
Adrian, Michigan. So I moved me and my son up to Michigan, and I go to school at... This is like another performing arts high school experience. This is a small liberal arts Catholic college. Everybody's like family. They were some of the best years of my life. And I was doing musical theater. I was 30 and they were all 20. And it was just so fun. I was like the mom of the department. I loved it. And they would let my son come to rehearsals, and David would be running around out in the theater, and I'd be up, you know, doing shows and, you know, being a part of something that was really magical. And those were some really great years of my life. And I was also doing shows at like a regional theater up there, and they were like the most like professional shows I had ever done. So I was actually I was doing what I wanted to do. I was progressing in my career. And so I graduate with my bachelor's, and I'm in recovery.
Let me ask you something, Alisha,
go ahead.
Real quick. So those shows paid? You got paid for those shows?
No, not those ones. But I'm also like at this time starting to get into like some commercial work. Like I'm starting to audition for like commercials and have an agent and do voiceover. So I was starting to kind of expand my field, you know, and you know, starting to get myself out there. And I'm also in recovery, and I'm open about it at the college. And I'm going to meetings up there. I'm involved in the program up there. I have a great sponsor up there again. And I graduate. I give the commencement speech at my graduation.
Dang.
It was wonderful. And, you know, my son got to see it all. You know, he got to see me do that. It was a really great experience. And then, you know me, I'm like, what's next? Where are we going now? Got to keep going. I'm going to grad school. So I'm going to grad school for theater. So I start auditioning for grad schools. I start going to different states to audition. I don't even know how this is all going to play out, but I'm just like loving this. And I get into 2 schools. I get into Kent State on no scholarship. And I get into Miami University down here in Oxford with a TA, like with an assistantship program. So basically they're going to pay me to go to school. And I'm like, hell yeah, where do I sign? So I pick me and David up and I move us down to Cincinnati area. And that
Like Hamilton, around Hamilton, Oxford.
Yep, Oxford. Yep. And it actually worked out really well because his dad had ended up getting a job here down here too. I didn't know, we weren't sure how he was going to be able to get down here, but it worked out really well. And his dad moved down here too. We were not together, but we were down here co-parenting. At this time, David's like 5. He's playing football. He's playing little bantam football. And it's just, it's so fun. You know, we're involved in the community. And so I'm going to Miami. I'm doing shows. I'm teaching because I am a TA, and that's how I'm getting paid to go to school. And I'm on committees. I'm teaching kids at the Community Arts Center. I'm like organizing a cabaret event every Sunday where proceeds go to the local homeless shelters. You know, I have a voiceover business. I'm just like really feeling like I did it this time. We are in a good place. I can support us. Like, I'm making more money than I've ever made. And I started to be at these like events, like theater events, where I'm starting to notice people like drinking like ladies, you know, and it's been 6-7 years. Like I haven't done nothing. I have not drank. I have not smoked weed, nothing. I'm going to church. I'm very involved in the church. And I just start noticing these things all of a sudden. I'm like, gosh, I wish I could go to these events and drink wine. I bet you I could. I'm a mom. I have all of my shit together now. You know, I bet that I am mature enough to be able to make this decision. And so I drank, and it fell apart pretty quick.
How quick?
I picked up a drink, and 6 months later, I had not a single thing to my name and did not even have my child.
Quick.
Quick. Yeah. Because when
I'm sorry, Alisha.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Because when I pick up a drink, I try meth at the same time.
Same night.
And that was the one drug that I had never done. And I loved it.
Got a whole chapter in my book about it.
And I'm telling you what, it was like, that drug is so tricky too. Well, they're all, you know, they are all in their own ways different. But I really thought I had it together for a while. You know, because that's one of those drugs that you don't even have to do a whole lot of. You know.
Cheap, kind of in a way.
Yeah, and that's the funny thing about that drug is that I can't tell you how many times I would tell my mom, like, no, I quit. I'm barely doing any at all. Well, you don't have to barely do any at all to be on meth.
Right. You're absolutely right. You're knocking shit out. The whole house is clean, yard's mowed. You look like you got it all together for a minute.
Yep, definitely. So I start involving myself with people who are very much they're all the way in, right? We're back dealing with people on the street, people who, you know, are going to jail all the time. You know, I let somebody in my bubble that didn't want to go back out on the street, so he would not leave my bubble.
Like a squatter, basically.
I would call him that. It was disguised as something different, like caring about me or wanting to help me in this hard time. But I can help you, because if you just spend the $500 that you need to pay rent and give it to me, I'll flip it over 3 times.
Gotcha.
And then your rent will be good. You know.
Then we got 3 months rent.
Yeah, except for I got evicted. I got pulled over in my car with all the drugs.
Oh my God. It's crazy. You know what? It's really, we can laugh about it because we've lived that shit, but it's not funny. But it happened to me too. I lost a house. I mean, but anyway.
And I have to, I laugh. It's not funny. It's just insane. It's insane because, and now, especially when I'm working with people, I see you are just living in a completely different world. You're in another realm. You're not seeing reality. And people can see that you're not seeing reality, but you don't know it.
Yep.
So everything.
So you're in the car.
So I'm not in the car. He's always taken my car. Damn it! I have had my car
Where are
stolen.
you at?
Who knows? Probably sitting right here waiting for him to come back. I'm sure. I have had my car stolen more times than anybody in this county. I can tell you that. Because I just.
What county are you in at this point?
Butler.
Hamilton?
Yep.
Butler? Okay.
Because I go into this life again, not having lived it for 7 years. So I forget.
And with that substance, it is different. It's criminal behavior is elevated to a different level.
Oh, absolutely. And I also, I forgot that you just don't leave your keys on the counter around that life. Because I had not been living in that life. And then there's my car stolen again, or I'm freaking robbed again, or, and plus, like, I am the kind of person that in situations like that I get taken advantage of because I let people in. And I've always been like that. And I don't know if I'll ever be any different because I want to see.
I think that says more about your good character qualities than it does your bad ones.
Yeah, it depends what kind of lifestyle you're living, I guess.
But it depends on who you're chopping it up with, right? But even and I can relate, Alicia, and I'll pass the ball right back to you. But I struggled with that big time because I got taken advantage. I wasn't that much of a criminal where I was stealing from people, but then when that substance got introduced, people were stealing from me, and it hurt me so bad, like that I got violent. But long story short, I had to come to grips with that in my early recovery of like, I still kind of want some payback on this, and because it hurt. My kindness for weakness, getting taken advantage of, shit hurt. But I came to grips with it. Like, you know what? That says more about like, even when I'm that messed up, I still care about people.
Yes.
So I want you to understand the same thing about yourself is what I'm saying.
And what's interesting is that this is one of the cool things about being open on social media about this stuff is, and I've done things to people, you know what I'm saying? Or stolen things, you know what I mean? And, but now as I'm open, people have come to me from that life and said, damn, man, you went out of your way to look out for me. And I totally robbed you blind. And so that does happen. I've had it like happen twice this week.
No kidding.
Like people saying like, and it confirms to me that even when I was in active addiction and like I felt like these things happened to me, like things have come back around. And this is a revolution. A lot of people, so many people are getting clean. It's not the same as it was out there 2 years ago. And I feel like we are really getting into this wave of awakening, and people are starting to, we're healing our generations, right? We're starting to heal these generational things that caused us or our families to live in those kind of, I don't know where I was really.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
We're acknowledging the fact that like, hey, this isn't just a lower class issue. And it's affecting family, and then people start standing up like you and I, like all of a sudden everybody's standing up like, oh me, and we're starting to realize, holy shit, drugs are for real an issue that we were overlooking or just threw a stigma at it and said, don't fuck with him.
Exactly. And criminalizing everything, and just locking people away like that are struggling when really with the opioid epidemic, like people didn't stand a chance. So many families didn't stand a chance. So I lose everything. And mind you, I'm actually still teaching when I start going down. I am still teaching at a university. I am using IV drugs in the bathroom of my job. And I'm teaching people that I wanted to be a good influence for. I'm falling asleep. I've been up for so long. I'm going in teaching, and I have students reporting me because I'm falling asleep. And I've started using opiates at this point too, because I remember for the longest time, like, I must just be dehydrated. Like, I would use a little bit of opiates, and then the first time I ever got sick, you know, that first time that you ever realized that you were in withdrawal. So now I'm on everything, basically. I've lost everything. I don't even have a place to live. I'm still trying to teach. I'm still trying to have a job. You know, I left my apartment kicking and screaming. Like, these people felt so bad for me because they saw me come into this apartment with all my
6 years sober.
together. Yeah.
Kid, mom,
Now I'm getting
new life, killing it.
Yeah. Now I got an eviction notice for domestic violence. Because me and this dude who's in my house that won't leave, I mean, you know, and I stayed till the very last second that I could. I had nowhere to take anything. I had all my kids' stuff. I told my mom, do not show up here. Please do not show up here. I'm so embarrassed.
This episode of The Recovery Couch is brought to you by JB Davis at South Dayton Toyota. For integrity, service, and unbeatable deals, call JB and his team at 513-267-5225 and tell them The Recovery Couch sent you.
And here came my mom and my grandparents and my dad, even my dad, you know, and we took all my stuff to a storage, and that was it. I was on the street. I
can't help but wonder, Alicia, so how was your dad doing at this point? Was he sober?
You know, I don't know if my dad is, I don't think my dad is sober. We don't talk a lot. We are seeing each other at the end of the month, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
You know, I do my best with that relationship. I have a lot of, you know, my platform is called Living Free with AJ, but I am I am not healed. I'm not healed. And I realize that a little bit more every day. You know, there's a lot of stuff that still needs to be worked on, you know?
I respect that. I think that if most people are honest, they would say that. I know that's the same with me too. But you threw me a curveball there. I did not expect
Did I?
Dad to show up to that.
Yeah, my mom and my dad
so
had in the same car together. They had not seen each other, and I can't even tell you how long. But,
yeah,
you know, they came down and tried to do what they could to help me. But I was still...
So back to the street.
Back to the street. I think my mom's, and really now this played out, and she's so fucking smart. Sorry. She's so smart. You know...
It's rated E for explicit.
It's off now.
Yeah.
She didn't want me to lose certain things. There were certain important things. She didn't want David to have to lose all of his things, my son. You know, because that's the traumatic, that's the stuff. Like, you know, not only do you lose everything, your kids lose everything that they're used to playing with every day. I'll never forgive myself. I killed our hermit crabs because I didn't feed them, because I was off running around. I don't even think he knows that. I killed the hermit crabs we brought back from Myrtle Beach. I felt so terrible.
Hermit crabs. What were their names?
I don't remember. But I also had 2 cats.
Say it again.
Yes, and my poor cats were like eating from the bread bags.
So they just found the bread by themselves.
Yeah, because I wasn't home. I didn't feed them. I wasn't even thinking.
Yeah.
You know, I just wasn't even thinking. So
where did David go?
I remember when I called his dad and said, he already knew. I mean, like, shit was hitting the fan so bad. There were police involved all the time. You know, it was finally to the point where he was like, I'm calling children's services. So I was like, well, before you do that, please, I just need him to stay with you for a while I get my shit together. And so he went to stay with his dad, and he was 7 at that time. And I didn't get sober till he was 12.
So you go on a 5-year run.
5 years.
You stayed in the same area?
I bounced around from Hamilton, and then like I was homeless in Hamilton for a decent amount of time. And I met somebody. So I get into a relationship out there. And you know, he's actually with me the next 3 years. But we are all the way out there. Like, we are on the news. We
For what?
we
You don't have to if you don't
no,
want
no,
to.
I mean, it was on the news.
Touche.
My poor mother. Yeah. We're finally just starting to get, anyway, I'll just skip that whole part, but we always had warrants. I could never show up to court. I just didn't ever go. You know, I don't think I ever went to one court hearing in street clothes. It was like catch me if you can all the time. And we both had felony warrants, we both had felony warrants, but we had a terrible habit of falling asleep in the car. And so we fell asleep in the car, and I woke up to people coming in both sides of the cars. Or both sides of the car. I woke up to police and ambulance coming in both sides of the car, and I just remember him stepping on the gas because the car was running.
Shit.
And I just remember that moment of like, oh shit. He just said, I'm not going to jail today. And he just went for it. And we ended up 52 minutes. It was a 52-minute police chase over 3 counties.
High speed?
No, nope. We were going slow as hell.
Where?
Swear.
Oh my gosh.
Why? Because our car was like a piece of shit.
Bad.
It's okay.
My
It's
bad.
hilarious. Like the on the news, you could see the sparks underneath our car because we literally drove it till the wheels fell off. They fell off. He was trying to go fast. He was giving it all he had.
Oh, Alisha.
I just couldn't catch.
What are you doing in the passenger seat? Freaking out or just like, go, baby, go?
I love you. I love you. I love you. You know, freaking out. We're going to jail.
Holy shit.
Yep. And
So you went to jail?
Oh, yes, definitely.
And you served your time for all those warrants?
Which really wasn't,
So you killed all the warrants and
killed all the warrants. And that was really, you know, that was kind of the end of our journey, because this was not the first time. We had been on police chases before. He had been in trouble. I had been in trouble. We were always like, we were not good for each other, but we loved each other. And we were just really going through this hellacious life together. He had been doing it a lot longer than I had, so he taught me everything that I really knew on how to take care of myself out there, and he protected me for the longest. Hold on a second. Computer's dying. When I met him, it was like he saved my ass, because I really didn't know what I was doing out there. And he was like gang affiliated. He had tons of prison numbers. Like, he knew what was up. And but that was the end of our journey, because we got separated that day, and he did a year. I was wrapping up.
That's it?
Yeah.
He did 1 year? Shit, usually that's a F3, mandatory too, I think.
Yeah. And when he got out, he overdosed.
Oh no, he's not with us?
He's not with us.
I'm sorry.
Thanks. Yeah, it was extremely tragic.
How long were you in for?
I think I only did 30 days, because I was only cleaning up other stuff. I had never really had any huge charges. They were like thefts and paraphernalia, but I just always ran. So when I would get caught, then they would send me to treatment. You know, I would get sent to treatment, and I would leave. I would run. I mean, this was the whole 5 years. The whole 5 years was, running. Surviving. I lived in the same hotel for 2 years under a fake name with felony warrants. And that was the only way that I was safe.
From the police, from the law.
Always. But like, I started to know my rights, which is very interesting. When you get out there and you start getting in trouble enough to start knowing your rights, and knowing, like, I knew I didn't have to open the door, and I started to get cocky. Or I knew, because
you can't search me when I'm on foot.
Right. You can't ask me my information if I haven't done anything wrong. You know, and I started to know those things. But when you don't realize how much you look like you're in active addiction.
Oh
You
gosh, I
you
can't
know
even.
what I
I don't even
mean?
want to see the footage.
Oh my gosh.
I don't even want to see the footage, Alicia.
I know.
Golly, I was. So anyway,
Looking like a wreck. So, they try to mess with you because they know what you're doing, and I don't know how to even sum up that 5 years. I spent probably three-fourths of it trying to find a vein.
she gone.
Like, just,
I'm gonna pee again.
tunnel vision froze on me. I don't know what happened. I don't know what the heck happened. Sorry about that.
Computer died. It's all right. So we are
It's
at those 5 years. You don't know what the heck, how to explain them. Uh, you go to jail. When do you
yeah.
start? When does recovery start happening for the second time? You had that 6 year period.
Well, and I think
How did
this
recovery
is
come about?
this is like this
This time
5
around,
years
or is
is the
there more to it?
is like the really important piece for me, because this is when everything starts changing for me. I am seeing so much death and destruction. I am seeing, I'm surrounded by crime and, um, you know, people doing things they don't want to do because they need to survive, and people trying to take care of each other out there, but then on the other hand, robbing each other blind, and, saving people's lives on the daily. People saving my life on the daily. Did I lose you again? What is happening? I don't know what the heck's going on. I'm sorry. I don't know what the heck.
There you are. It's all right. We'll get it figured out. Shoot.
I don't know.
You
Seems to
have
be
no
okay
idea.
now.
It's not if it's like
No, computer's plugged in.
computer being
It just
charged
like
or
all of a
what?
sudden was saying no internet connection. Actually, Spectrum has been kind of shitty lately. So I don't know if it was just going out. No. Looks
Not
like we
cool,
might be okay
Spectrum.
right now.
Not cool. Not cool, Spectrums.
Yeah. Yeah, for
Well,
sure.
let's do our best to wrap it up. You know what I mean? But those 5 years, you're saying, uh, I feel like you're saying that the trauma that you incurred is almost, and I would say the
Yes.
same thing about my few years in methamphetamine addiction.
Yeah,
Showed
same.
me some demonic shit that I never
Same. And,
wish I would have seen.
I think all of us share such a bond in that way, you know, um, because I'm like saving people's lives on a daily basis, or they're saving mine. I'm seeing people really legit die so often out there, you know, you know, people are getting shot in front of me, kidnapped, women are being taken advantage of, men are being taken advantage of, just like the craziest shit, and um I'm losing teeth. I'm out there like finally. Yes, I lost two teeth out there.
You did?
I mean, damn, I
You
know it
did?
could have been a lot worse. I always say
It's two
I took a
teeth out
drink
there.
one day.
Yeah.
I tried meth. All of a sudden it was 5 years later, and I had lost two teeth. I had a lengthy criminal record, and all kinds of shit had gone down. And all of those
It's the truth, though. It's crazy.
big.
So
Yes, because
this
I'm
was
like
a bit major turning point for you internally. Yeah.
it's I want to get clean the whole time. I'm literally trying to go to treatment the whole time. I am not even allowed at certain treatment centers because I have scheduled so many times to come in, but just couldn't get myself there. Or got myself there, but just couldn't go in. My mom, I finally called my mom once. I was staying in a Motel 6. And I'm like, Mom, I'm ready. And she drove all the way down that Saturday to take me to treatment, take me to Woodhaven. And we stopped. I had managed to cop on the way there. And I fell asleep in the car. What I meant to do was stop at a gas station before we got there so I could do the last of my shit. Well, I fell asleep. And so when I woke up, we were in the parking lot and I like had a panic attack. I was like, no, you know. And I could not. I was like, it's fine. I'll just find a way to do the rest of this in the bathroom or something. And everything was stopping me. It was, you know, barrier at every turn, and I couldn't do it. And I couldn't go. I could not go. And my poor mother drove 3 hours to come get me and take me to treatment, and I couldn't go. And she had to turn around and drive back. I think we're good.
Good. All right.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Okay. Okay. So what I was saying is that my mom had driven 3 hours to pick me up to go to treatment, and I could not go. And there were so many times like this where I would beg somebody to come pick me up for treatment, and I couldn't walk in. I couldn't get myself to walk in, you know, but it just wasn't my time yet. And there's been, so after all of that, after, you know, losing my fiance and, you know, being in and out of jail, I couldn't get a grip because of everything that had happened. I did lose custody of my son, in the hole in Butler County, as a matter of fact. I was,
So you're
yeah,
23-hour lockdown and you find out.
yep, and I
So
get
that's
served
all you have
papers.
to do is think about it.
Yeah,
God.
it was, and this was actually the jail stay after the police chase. So I'm in the hole in jail and I get served with custody papers, and that was, you know, and that's the grip of addiction, because I got out of jail and I knew my court date, but I had warrants on me already. And it was just like, it has you so tight that, and this is so hard for people to understand. It's not that you don't love your children. You love your children more than anything. And you want so bad to be able to get a grip for them because you know the pain that they're going through. And the more and more you can't get a grip, the harder and harder you go because of the guilt and the shame for your kids.
Absolutely.
So there's been two times in my life, and actually one of them was that first time that I told you about with my mom, when the police told me to tell her what was going on. And there's been two times in my life where I've cried out to God and said, you either have to take this from me or you have to take me, because I can't do this anymore. And so, you know, at the end of this 5 years, I have this moment. I started doing a lot of hallucinogens at that point too. So I'm having a lot of like, I feel like these like out of body experiences, and I'm really seeing things like, and I cry out to God and I'm saying, please, like, I need this to be over. I call my sisters, I call my mom. I'm like, please just tell me it's better that I'm here than if I'm not. Because like, this has been 5 years of this. I'm so tired. And I was going to go to prison if I didn't, you know, I had gotten some charges, some possession charges. And I got arrested the next day.
For
And
what?
for possession, another possession charge. No, it wasn't. It was a theft charge. And it doesn't matter that I didn't take anything. I was in the car, you know, and, you know, I got, it was another, you know, police chase situation. And at that point, I had been up for so long. Like I usually could try to keep things a little bit even keel. Like, you know, I didn't have a lot of psychosis and stuff like that. But this time I was losing it. And I had a really bad experience with the police that time. You know, they kept calling me tweaker. I'll never forget it. They kept calling me tweaker. And I will never forget it. And I don't know why it stung so bad. Probably because I was tweaking bad.
Right.
Like,
Oh my goodness.
when I got to jail, they said, don't put her on the top bunk. She is going to fly right off. But
I know it's funny to me because I know, you know, to somebody who has not experienced that world, that's probably not. It probably doesn't even move you at all. But
yeah,
I
right.
know. You know, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. So we all went to jail that day, and I slept for probably a good 5 days. But I know that when I went in front of the magistrate that next day, I said, it was a new county. I had never been up in front of this judge, so I knew if I asked for treatment, there would be a better chance that he would give it to me. And he did, and the coach came in and they assessed me. And when I went into court, oh, but by the way, I'm blind, like literally, like my eyes are so bad I cannot see anything, and I had no glasses, no contacts. So I get arrested. I'm in jail for 2 weeks. My contacts go bad. I got them out. I can't see anything. So I'm like feeling my way around court. And the judge is like, are you ready to go to treatment tomorrow? I'm like, I'm ready to go today. Like, I'm ready to go now. And he's like, okay, well, the coach will pick you up in the morning. And I'm like, oh my God, this is it. Like, I get another chance here. And so I went to the coach, and it just must have been my time. You know, it was just my time. Everything just kind of started falling into place for me. And I was doing the work. I got a job. I was getting my license back. And, you know, this is what pushed me into peer support, because I had never experienced peer support until I went to this treatment center. And, you know, she was the one that helped me get my license back. She let me use her car for my test. Just like, you know, those little things that you need that you might not have the support for, you know, because like your clinician's not going to let you use their car.
Right.
You know, but your peer support knows those barriers. And so things just started falling into place. And I started realizing that this is so much bigger than drugs. This was so much bigger than drugs for me all my life. This was about me not loving myself. This was about me always feeling like I had to shrink to fit in, because if I was going to be myself, that I would be too weird, you know, always shrinking myself down to not be too much. And
Gosh.
I was going to have
There's
to.
so much there. So it's the boisterous, fun-loving, loud. You were trying to pack that into a little compartment and be what you thought everybody else wanted you to be. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. And, you know, and even around people I feel like I could be myself around, I always was questioning myself. Like, was that too much? Was that too much? Do they think I'm weird? You know?
Yeah.
And that's the really beautiful thing, because that's the thing that I try to tell my clients, and especially women in particular, that all of these things that you thought were weird about you, or, you know, was too much. And it's like, if you can really start doing the spiritual work and reaching deep down within and figuring out how to love yourself, those are the things you're going to love the most about yourself. I love that about myself now. I'm making a whole social media channel out of my weirdness.
Yeah. Same.
You know, it's like those are the things that make me special. And I spent so long running from things that made me special, you know?
Those are the things people see courage in you. They're like, man,
Yeah,
she is brave to be able to just be herself. Or,
right.
man, that takes a lot of courage to be able to just, you know, have acceptance over that type of wound. And
Yes.
I agree, it is. It's brave. It's courageous.
And I don't have everything figured out, you know, every day. You know, it's like I feel like I'm in a battle with myself a little bit. Like, number one, I think that the physical effects from drugs, you know, I feel those. I do physically feel those effects in my brain still, you know, and I'm actively working to try to figure that out and heal my brain. Um, but every day is where I'm a work in progress. I'm just doing my best out here. And, you know, involved in harm reduction, which is really never something that I had a lot of when I was out there. I didn't understand it. A lot of people don't understand it. It can be hard to understand, you know, giving addicts clean supplies. A lot of people think that's enabling. But, you know, number one, it's a public health issue. And number two, you're planting seeds, because, you know, we just feel like complete pieces of garbage out there. I just felt so unworthy of anybody's help, anybody's love, and felt like I deserved to use a dirty needle. I got myself here, but
That's deep.
we are awakening. We're awakening as a collective. And as a collective, we are getting closer and closer to everybody understanding that love is the only answer. Compassion is the only answer. Because we're all struggling with something. We all have our own trauma. And you don't know. It could have gone a lot differently. You know, it just happened to go this way for us.
Absolutely right.
And now I know that it was all for a reason.
It became your mission. And it's the way that you get to show love to the people who felt at one point in time like you felt when you were out there.
Exactly.
And I agree with you with the harm reduction. It's an opportunity for you to say, here's just a little bit of love that
exactly.
you otherwise wouldn't get from somebody sober.
Right.
And then that seed is planted. That love seed. You're talking about love. That's that love seed of like, man, somebody did come to my aid when I felt unworthy of anybody coming to my aid.
A lot of different people. And I'm not saying everybody has these experiences. I mean, I'm sure everybody has some of these experiences, but like I remember multiple times in my addiction, because if you saw me, you knew I was struggling. You knew I was in a bad place. You could just tell. And, you know, multiple times I had a lady come up to me in Meyer and say, honey, it's going to be okay. Do you want me to pray with you? And every time, yes, absolutely. Please pray for me. You know, or I went up to a house one time and they should have called the police on me, but they didn't. They let me in and they fed me and they let me keep my clothes on their porch for a couple days. You know, I saw kindness in a lot of different people. I mean, I obviously saw darkness too, but those times of kindness, they stuck out to me.
Yeah, this is super important stuff.
Yes, absolutely.
Super important stuff. It's because the knee jerk reaction to somebody who appears homeless, high, is to get away. That's the knee jerk reaction.
That's right.
The truth is that person is just in an absence of love in their life, and
that's right.
You know, you have an opportunity. Is how I think I look at it today. Okay, I have an opportunity, you know, to at least show them love. I don't, most of the times I don't have $1 to give when I'm in the city. For one, I don't carry cash, and for two, I'm broke as hell.
Right.
But when you know, I'll at least make sure that I don't just kind of pass by without letting them receive some sort of compassion or love.
Yes.
And I think it's huge. I do. I think those seeds are huge. I think they really are. So
well, and the recovery community is changing, you know, like it's been changing, but we are, you know, there's a lot of different ways to do this thing now. You know, when I got sober, the very first time you went to AA or you went to church, and that was it. And if you didn't go to either one of those, you were not going to stay sober. So, and I mean, those are amazing pathways. But what I'm saying is that we have so many different options now, so many different things to explore. You know, it's just tough love is not necessarily always the answer. And I think that we come from that as people who have maybe are our age and who have been getting sober for a long time. That's what we're used to. We're used to tough love. And maybe that's not all of it. I'm not saying you don't have to have boundaries and stuff like that. You have to take care of yourself first, of course. But especially with the world today, I mean, we can't go one day without hearing about people harming children right now. Not ever in my life have I ever heard that term every single day about people who hurt children. Now we have to hear it every single day. You know, everybody's stressed. Everybody's broke. You know, everybody, you know, is trying to survive every day. And that means more and more people are falling into addiction. And you can't go now without somebody saying they or a family member has struggled. Everybody knows somebody. My son has 2 friends who have lost their parents to an overdose. It's that close. And it could have been me too. So, I mean, I think that we have to stay open. I feel like we have to stay open. And even as people in recovery, because we can't have these closed off ideas to certain pathways and stuff. We just all got to work together. It's all about what works for you and and how you're going to heal yourself. And that's going to be maybe totally different than the person next to you, and that's fine.
Sure is fine. Yeah. Whatever path you got to get to self-love, I'm with you
That's it right
and for
there.
you to figure out how to get to self-love. For me, that was
Absolutely.
spirituality. I see how the 12-step program is what I just called the other day, the fundamentals of inviting somebody into a relationship with God. Not a super
Absolutely.
big 12-step person. That wasn't my thing. But I do think that I needed to learn how to love myself. And I had to go on a spiritual journey in order to do that, because in order to love myself, I had to forgive myself for the things
Absolutely.
I did in active addiction, for the things I saw and witnessed, for the demonic shit that I realized is in and of this world that just broke my heart. I had to find, some sort of healing and self love. And so I am totally with you. It is important, first of all, accept them with their brokenness as they are, and then just allow them to go on their own journey of self discovering what self love looks like for them.
Absolutely.
So let me ask you this last question. Let's say there's somebody who just gets out of jail, they're on probation, no car, no license, no job. They were served papers while they were in jail saying that they lost their children, but they want to get clean, Alisha. Like they do. They really do. But the drugs got a grip. What type of encouragement would you give that person?
Just keep trying. Just keep trying. And if you can't surround yourself with people that you want to be like, there's social media and you can watch people that you want to be like. You can watch every day the stories of women, fathers who have gotten back relationships with your children. They're right here at our fingertips. So if you can't surround yourself with people, then watch their stories, because that really helped me. Because, this time I wasn't sure if I wanted to go to meetings. I wasn't sure if that was something that I wanted, but I just started communicating with people anywhere online, and connecting with people that have these same struggles. Connection is really where it's at, you know.
Amen. Yeah, absolutely. So, speaking of social media, tell them where they can go follow you at, because that would be a great way for somebody who
Yeah.
maybe, yeah. So, plug yourself.
So it's at Living Free with AJ on all socials.
At
So,
Living Free with
yep,
AJ
that's
across
right.
every TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. What am I missing?
That's it.
That's
Facebook,
it.
Instagram, TikTok.
Yep. Go and follow her. I follow her. And she's a fantastic follow. I love the personality that shines through her platform. That's one of the most engaging things that I've noticed about following Alisha on social media. That's why I was so excited to have her on this episode. I guarantee that if you were watching this episode, that you would agree with what I just said. She's just super honest, super authentic,
It's weird. I was just
and
thinking about that word.
yeah, super authentic. Yeah, and keep that up, because it is it's a rare, but it is very attractive, and I'm super grateful that you're authentic. I want to thank you
Thank
very
you.
much, Alisha, for coming on the show. Any last words?
I would say just accept. If you're a little rough around the edges, just use it. Use it.
I love it. Yeah, if you're rough around the edges, use it, embrace it. There's no need to
Embrace
run for.
it.
People probably know it anyway.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
people probably already know it anyway.
Right.
I love that. Alisha, thank you so much again for coming on the show. Don't forget, go and check out my book, Step 4 Journey Through Addiction. You can get it at www.recoverycouch.com or www.brandoncouch.com or at any book retailer, Barnes and Noble, Amazon, Books a Million. Wherever you buy books, you can get Step 4 Journey Through Addiction. It'll take you through my journey. Again, so grateful for the guest today of Alisha Bond walking us through her journey. and just the courageous, brave story that she shared with us. And I just want you to know that you always have a seat right here on the recovery couch. Alisha, stay here. Today's episode is proudly sponsored by Nexus Blue. If your business is buried in manual tasks, disconnected systems, or wondering how to leverage AI the right way, Nexus Blue delivers vendor-neutral technology consulting and automation solutions that help you work smarter. Learn more at www.nexusblue.io. That's www.nexusblue.io.